Om Ayahi Varade Devi Traksare Brahmavadini Gayatri Chandasang Mata Brahmajani Namastute Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrittar Ma Amritangamaya Aviravir Maedi Rudrajate Dakkinamukham Te Namang Pahi Nityam Te Namang Pahi Nityam Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Divine Mother of the Universe, reveal Thyself in our heart and in our midst. We invoke Thy presence amidst us. Thou art the supreme word of the Scriptures. Thou art the embodiment of knowledge and liberation. Thou art the supreme bridge to immortality. Lead us from unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death, disease and suffering to immortality. Manifest Thyself in us through and through, and protect us with Thy compassionate face. Om Peace, peace be unto us. Peace be unto all living beings. This morning our subject is meditation and its practice. I am reading a few paragraphs from Swami Vivekananda's Raja Yoga. Fixing the mind on the lotus of the heart or on the center in the head is what is called dharana or concentration. Confined to one spot as the base, certain mental waves arise. These waves, not swallowed up by other kinds of waves, by degrees become prominent, while the latter recede and finally disappear. Next, the multiplicity of the original waves gives rise to unity, and one wave only is left in the mind. That is called dhyana or meditation. When no basis is necessary, when the whole of the mind has become one wave, has attained one formness, it is called samadhi. Bereft of all association with places and centers, only the meaning of the wave is present. If the mind can be fixed on a center for 12 seconds, it will be a unit of concentration. 12 such units of concentration will be one unit of meditation. 12 such dhyanas or meditation will be a samadhi. Where there is apprehension of fire or water, where the ground is strewn with dirty leaves, where there are many ant hills, where there is danger from wild animals, where 4 streets meet, where there is too much noise, where there are many wicked persons, there yoga must not be practiced. This applies more particularly to India. Do not practice when the body feels very lazy or ill, or when the mind is very miserable and sorrowful. Go to a place which is well hidden and where people do not come to disturb you. Do not choose dirty places. Rather choose beautiful scenery or a room in your own house which is beautiful. When you practice, first salute all the ancient yogis and sages, your own guru and God, and then begin. These are the few directions Swami Vivekananda gives. We'll discuss the subject under a number of subtitles. First is the goal. Means why meditation? The Upanishads give us the clue. It says, know thyself. Atmanang Viddhi. It is because the search began, as in other branches of knowledge, how to put an end to the sorrows of man. All searches are from there. Is there any unchanging ground on which all the world of changes is moving and rotating? In this search, ultimately, the Upanishadic thinkers came to the conclusion that there is an unchanging ground, because changes cannot be perceived unless there is a ground which is unchanging. There is a perceiver and there is the perceived universe. These changes are to be known by knowing the unchanging entity within us. This is being called the self, the Atmanam, the pure consciousness, the ground. Further, everything reduced, it becomes pure consciousness. A solid mass, if you burn it, it will be gas. Gas to luminous, luminous to ether. Then ether to pure consciousness. Now where to find it? The third, the Upanishadic thinkers telling us that by knowing the micro, you know the macro. Each person, entity, however disparate and diverse, they are part of the same stuff. That which was in the solar orb as light and energy, next day it becomes part of my blood and bone. Because that energy which I am drawing, its source is the same. Since I cannot know the whole macro, bit by bit, piece by piece, grain by grain, what I have only is me, the micro. That which is in the macrocosm is also in the microcosm. Both are built in the same plan. As when you cook rice, let's example, how to know that the rice is getting ready or not? You take one grain out and feel and press. Are you to check every grain whether each one of them is ready? By the time you finish testing, it will turn into an Elmer glue. So therefore, so by knowing the one, you know everything. Hence, knowing myself, I know everything. Knowledge is power. Anything which you do not know, you are controlled by it. And anything which you know, you have control over it. The part of the thing that you feel interested, you feel drawn, or you feel repulsed, it is because you do not know it. Anything different from you, separate from you, is a threat to you. It is a threat to the personality. It is a threat of the unknown. Hence, another text says, Dityad voi bhayang bhavati. Anything which is different from me, separate from me, cause of anxiety and fear. Until I know everything and discover that I am in everything and everything in me, which is called relatedness, then only you overcome the fear and challenge. Hence comes meditation. So knowledge is the goal of meditation, self-knowledge. Three basic things being spoken of. The self-knowledge is not just knowledge, it's an heightened self-awareness. Three basic aspirations of every living being are: he wants to know, he wants to exist, longing for immortality, and he wants joy. But anything limited does not satisfy him. A limited entity can give me limited dimensions of the three. Hence we are constantly changing and searching. Then finally we reach a ground which is all-pervading, which is limitless. And that limitless is the fulfillment of everything. Because the very nature of our ground is limitless. The next aspect is that what happens when we meditate? Swami Vivekananda says that is the only way by which we can separate ourselves from our physical body. In the depth of meditation, we withdraw the consciousness from the physical part, then from the mind. We withdraw from the wakeful, then from the world of dream, then from the area of deep sleep. Then you reach the fourth, which is being called self or the pure ground. In fact, a human individual is a migratory creature. He migrates from the wakeful to the dream, from the dream to deep sleep, and again back to the dream and to the wakeful. In the morning when you wake up, you are really emerging from the third dimension, quickly passing through the second, coming to the first. It happens in a very, very fraction of a second. First awareness is I. Then there is a twilight of dream and wakeful. Then as soon as you come to the wakeful, all the memories you grab. But we cannot reach the fourth. We are only shifting from the first to the third, a prisoner of dream, wakeful and deep sleep. That means we are all the time shifting between the world of memories, made of the mind stuff. A person is born in mind, in memory. He lives in mind. He dies in mind, he suffers in mind, he enjoys in mind. But mind is not the self. So in depth of meditation, we voluntarily learn to go through these three states. Following nature's way, involuntarily, we are also doing that. But because it is involuntary, it does not give us knowledge. We are the same person. One of the texts says that every day a person becomes disembodied, dies. Dies means the world drops up temporarily. But again he comes back. But nothing changes. Again the old memories he grabs because of his attachment to them. So in meditation, we unwrap ourselves. You know, we have three bodies: physical body, mental body, causal body. In the physical body, it is used in the wakeful. Its dimension is very limited. In the dream state, when you are asleep, we use the subtle body. Its dimension or movement is wider. In dream, if you want to go on a vacation, you don't need to buy a ticket. You can do quickly, within a fraction of a second, you arrive. In deep sleep, you do not need to go to the vacation. Vacation comes to you. You become joined with it. So causal body is further subtle. In the depth of meditation, we divest ourselves from all the three kinds of bodies. You are afraid of death, annihilation, non-being. But every day we die. And again we come back. Only thing, partially die. Because we partially die in a limited way, we are able to come back in the morning alive with energy. Psychologically, we are being born and reborn every day, every moment, every hour. We are giving up some ideas about ourselves, and we are bringing in some new ideas. We are evolving mentally and in thought. So in the depth of meditation, we unwind, unwrap, partially die, reach nearer the self. We enfold and unfold. Enfold means fold back. You become witness consciousness. This fourth, the self, is being called witness consciousness. It is like a light on a stage. In a stage there is the audience, the manager, the actors, actresses. But without the light, nothing can happen. Light at the same time is witness. Actors coming and going, manager giving direction, audience enjoying. But light is constant. This is being called light of the self. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the great Yajnavalkya was being asked, how does a person move when the sun is set? It was a dialogue with another great seer. The answer was with the light of the moon. When the light of the moon is gone, light of the mind. When that is gone, light of intellect, discrimination. When that is also gone, ultimately it comes the light of the self. So that is the light of all lights. Even the sunlight is that light. One of the virtue of light is illumines. And also it destroys or dispels darkness. So we come nearer to this self in the depth of meditation. When we practice consciously, we reach the timeless, where there is no time. Time dimension, time is a shadow or the reflection of the timeless. In the depth of meditation, time stands still. That's why you do not feel the lapse of time. Thousands of years may go. It will not be aware. When a person reaches the state of samadhi, it is being called time stops. Time is a fiction of the mind. Really, there is no time. When you drive, we feel the light posts are running. Actually, light posts are not running. We are running. So therefore, time, the invention of time by the mind is to enjoy the timeless by breaking it into pieces. The finite world of diverse entities are created by the mind for enjoyment. How can you make the infinite break into pieces? How can you create time out of timeless? There is no way. Infinite cannot be broken into pieces. Infinite is not made of parts. It is incorporeal, immutable. But human mind is such, it can make the impossible possible because of its imagination. You cannot stop a person from imagining. So he imagines that infinite has been broken. But real infinite has not been broken. Boiled down to that a human individual is a dweller on the plane of mind. His world is also in his mind. He's a mind-bound creature. He feels sinful in his mind. He feels virtuous in his mind. Bound in his mind, free in his mind. State of samadhi is going beyond the range of mind. So you find the self. By knowing the self, you know that which is not self. By knowing the absolute reality, you know all that is relative. By knowing the timeless, you know the time. This knowing is not intellectual knowing. It is being. You do not know a person unless you are able to be that person. Total identification. When you be that person, then you become that person. Then only you know what the person thinks and feels. Otherwise, our knowledge of a thing or a person is not really what the person or the thing is, but what I think of the person and the thing. And that is totally erroneous knowledge. It is my picture, not what you are. Self-knowledge is being said, it is being the self. In human situation, that has a great implication. Without being, you cannot relate. When you relate to a person, one person relates to the other. He is not really relating to the other person. He is relating to an imaginary person made out of his own imagination and superimposed on the actual person. As a result, there is no connection. It is like three people who had problem of hearing. They were walking. One said, it is windy today. The other said, yes, it is Thursday. The other said, that's true, let us have Coke. Now each is talking without knowing the other. It's the same condition is ours. There is no related because we are unable to be, which is another word, being detached. Next we come, what actually meditation practice? Many think it is one of the practices. But actually, meditation is not a practice or one of the practices, spiritual practices. It is the culmination of all practices. No matter which religion you follow, what path you practice, all paths, practices, penances, austerities, they converge into this point. It is different from contemplation, which though popularly made synonymous with meditation. Contemplation is not meditation. Contemplation is thinking about an object. Meditation is thinking on the object. Contemplation is like a bee before it sat on the flower, making a humming sound, about to sit. It's a prior condition, a precursor of meditation. State of meditation is the bee sat on the flower, became silent, started sipping honey. It is not a prayer. It has no language. It is being. In a prayer there is a dialogue. It is not here. It's the last step before the final revelation. Frankly speaking, it is a very postgraduate practice. In Patanjali system, it's the last leg of the journey, 7th step. In Karma Yoga of Bhagavad Gita, it is the last step. Patanjali system, you know, the 8 steps, the preparatory practices of Jamo Niyamo, then conquering the posture, then the breath, withdrawal, focusing, then being absorbed. In the Bhagavad Gita, first, the state of Karma Yoga, you gather the mind. The goal of Karma Yoga is gathering the seeds of meditation, seeds of silence. Silence you cannot generate. You have to gather the seeds. Seeds have become lost into the world. Each piece of action is wrapping over the silence. In-gathering of the mind is done by unselfish activity. Then comes state of devotion. You must feel what you are practicing. First we begin with the head. Then comes the heart. When it reaches the level of the heart, you feel about it. You become attached toward it. When you become attached, then you begin to feel mood, a spiritual mood, which is an intensification of devotion. Mood brings brood, which is in the path of devotion is being called meditation. They do not call meditating. It's a remembrance. And brood brings revelation, which is love, pure love. In the path of knowledge, it is also the final step. Path of knowledge says that meditation is a form of worship. Upasana, sitting near. Upa-asana. It says, first preparation, then you hear about the self, then reflect upon it. Then comes meditation. But path of knowledge makes a distinction between meditation and direct revelation, which is being called nididhyasana. Sravana, manana, nididhyasana. Nididhyasana is in maintaining a steady, continuous awareness of the self. Those who are dull-witted, Shankaracharya says, unable to do this, they should practice meditation. Nididhyasana is direct perception. Direct perception means there is a difference between direct perception, directly seeing you, and meditating on you. If you are sitting before me, I am seeing you. That's all. What is there to meditate upon? Shall I, to see you, close my eyes or keep my eyes open? So therefore, that is being called knowledge. Knowledge or perception does not require an image, thinking, guidance of mind. If I hold a book before you, you have to see it whether you like it or not. But meditation requires likeness of the mind, effort. If I hold the book before you, you wanted to make effort to see. It is there. It is like that man in a bumper sticker in front of a car. I may be late, but I am in front of you. You have to see it. I am sitting in front of you. You may not like it, but I am there. That part is called knowledge. In meditation, you need a suggestion, imagination, effort. So what you see in meditation is different from knowledge. But this is a way toward it. So therefore, it is a practice. It's a highly refined practice. Mind cannot dwell on an abstract idea or a thought. Average mind is accustomed to dwell with the support of a sound, gross material object. When the mind becomes finer, it can concentrate on an idea, on a concept, on a thought, or on an awareness. So Raja Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga all being said, that it also, in 3 stages we pass. First we prepare, then we practice, then we perfect. Preparation is necessary. So in the depth of meditation we will find the final revelation is coming. Mind dissolves by itself. Mind meditates on the mind. What remains? What remains is the self. The perceiving consciousness merges into the all-pervading pure consciousness. What remains is only pure consciousness. Next comes that it is. Meditation begins where concentration ends. If you are aware, you are meditating, you are really not meditating. It did not discourage you. You are really there practicing karma yoga. You are making effort. When this effort is overcome, mind is flowing naturally. That is the state of meditation. So it is said, where concentration ends, means you are not aware of it. So state of meditation remains supported by the state of concentration, which has become natural. State of concentration supported by withdrawal. Mind is withdrawn. And state of withdrawal by a number of other practices which are external. Mind separated from the body. There are three key factors remain in all practice. First, the subject. We are constantly meditating. It is nothing unusual or unnatural. We are constantly meditating. It is a lie to say that we do not have power of concentration. Only our subject of concentration is changing from moment to moment. Whatever mind likes, it concentrates upon. A person who likes food, his mind is partly dwelling on food, day and night thinking. It is like somebody said that my husband is on a seafood diet. Whatever food he sees, he eats. Then another said, my wife is a light eater. As soon as the light is out, she starts eating. So therefore, all the time, a person who likes music, mind is all the time on that. It is not true that a person is not repeating a sacred word. Whenever you are watching something, perceiving, your mind is repeating that word. If you are seeing an automobile in the street, your mind is chanting the word automobile, automobile, automobile. Constantly repeating. Majority of the people, they chant the money mantra. Money, 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 money. He's repeating. Only when you change the word into some name of God, we call it spiritual. Only moment you make the subject constant, it becomes spiritual. Mind does not like to make constant. It does not like to think of one thing, neither it likes to think of many things. If you from tomorrow take a vow, I will do whatever I like, I will think whatever I like, I will act whatever I like, I bet you will have difficulty. That from tomorrow, in a regular basis, I will be chaotic. I won't do any discipline. You will have a tremendous difficulty. Immediately mind will find it will like discipline, it will like virtue, it will like all the things. This. Because anything which you do in a consistent way, mind hates it. So therefore, it likes to be what we call changing all the time. Meditation comes when you make the subject spiritual and constant. So what's the subject of meditation? You may select, or it may be selected for you. Theoretically, you can choose any object in the universe to concentrate. Usual example is the self, pure consciousness, it is the infinite sky. You may call it God. You may call it time. You may call it a concept. You may call it void. Those are secondary matters. You want to reach God. You want to go to the infinite sky. You are sitting imprisoned in a room within your body, prisoner of your body and mind. How do you do it? If you are in this room, theoretically you can go any direction. You can reach the sky by going upward. You can reach the sky by going downward. You can reach the sky by going right, by left. This is theoretically possible. But your job would be difficult or easy depending upon what you choose. If you go upward, you have to break through 3 levels of floors to reach the sky. If you go downward, you'll have to dig 25,000 miles of the earth to come out of the other end of the earth, which is, I believe, not will be a very difficult job. If you go this way, you'll have to break through the walls of several up to the 5th Avenue. If you go this way, also quite a number. Here comes tradition. Tradition and theory, they're not the same. Tradition says, you want to reach the sky. Since the window is very near you, that will be the easiest thing for you to do, to break the window and get out. If I am here, I'll be told that the door is the nearest. Because human capacity is limited. I have to choose a way according to my strength and opportunity. Here, tradition, culture, background, personality makeup, all these come. The practical aspect. It's like a lady went to buy wallpaper. After buying, asked the clerk, can I not put the wallpaper on myself? Clerk said, you can, but it will look better on the wall. It will look better on the wall. So there is a difference between the tradition and theory. By reading a book, you cannot get the theory, tradition. Here comes the role of a teacher. We cannot dispense with the role of a teacher. Beginning from Sri Krishna up to the Swami Vivekananda, it says, there is no knowledge without a teacher. Swami Brahmananda says that even if you want to be a pickpocket, you need a guru. And this is a highly intricate spiritual matter. You need a teacher. Because teacher has to know the potholes, dangers, difficulties, assess your strength, ability. As one cannot be a doctor by reading simply medical books. He has to do the internship. It is said that, not only that, of course here in medical, as the Indian proverb is, that Satek Mari Bhaved Vaidya. When you have killed 100 patients, you have reached the first stage of being a doctor. Sahasra Mari Chikitsaka. When you have killed 1,000, then you are eligible for a license. So not that here also a spiritual guru kills 100 aspirants first and practice it. All is needed. You need a living lamp to light your own lamp. So in this practice, subject, the first. After the subject is selected, on what you will meditate. Then comes where? Center of consciousness. To hold the mind at a certain center. Here also comes tradition and the theory. Theoretically, you can concentrate on any part of your body, outside you or inside you. Tradition says the heart, the head, these are the two major. Reason? It says the heart center is called, there are about 75,000 subtle nerves crisscrossing throughout the body, which are important. Among them, most important, 14,000 nerves. They are crisscrossing at the heart center. That is the called city of Brahman, Upanishad is telling. There its mind should be held. The third aspect is being called what apparatus you use to invoke your mood. The third of the three factors. You need to invoke. Here comes posture, other techniques, prayer, a rosary, discrimination. All these things are called paraphernalia, just to create a mood. Ceremonies, rituals, all these are coming. Here also, what one will follow depends upon a guidance, selected for that person. So therefore, one can meditate, one who has these apparatus ready. Earlier I said there are three stages in practice: preparation, practice, perfection. Why preparation? You cannot meditate, reach the self with this present body, present desire, present things. This body is good for making dollars, or drink coffee, or go to a theater. This body is not fit for that. You need a very different kind of body, different kind of desire, different kind of aspiration. How do you do it? You create yourself. How did you have your present body? You create it. You create another body by changing your desire, aspiration, goal. A body is created. Sri Ramakrishna is telling in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, you cannot see God with these eyes. These eyes can see only illusion. They are good for seeing illusion. You need another body. A German emperor, he saw in a dream 3 rats. One big fat rat, one lean thin rat, and another a very, clever rat. He thought it has some spiritual significance. He asked many people, what is the meaning of this, to decipher the dream. The emperor was a kind of lazy, and he didn't care about his people, and he always wanted to hear which is pleasing for him. He asked his court minister, one of them, he was a very righteous man and pious. He said, Your Honor, the 3 rats represent three. This rat, which is clever and fast moving, is your chief executive. And the thin, lean rat represents your people. They are being exploited. And the fat rat is you. Because of you, this is happening. So similarly here, this body is good for this. So we need to create another body by changing desire. You can say that where is the incentive? Why should I meditate? Why should I practice any spiritual matter? Why do I care for all this? The Upanishads say that, you see, what you think to be very real, you have doubt about it. You really don't believe it. Second, you are not very satisfied with what you believe. Therefore, there is scope. And particularly the human mind is a mixture of divine desires and demonic desires. A human being is a mixture of demon and the divine. It is at the central place, halfway toward God. A human being only feels guilt, moral guilt. An animal does not. An angel does not. An angel is too good to do a bad thing. An animal is too bad or too dark, impulsive to do anything discriminating. A human being makes a right moral choice, free choice. He has a limited free will. So human mind is being called a river flowing simultaneously on 2 opposite directions. A human being is the only being who simultaneously feels the ascent and descent of the mind at the same time. The moment my mind tries to ascend, you feel the pull from the descent. When mind wants to go down, you feel the pull from above. Like a recoiling rifle. Only human being feels this. So therefore, incentive is that you make a choice. Both are being presented. Since you feel guilty, you are unhappy, you believe in endeavor, means you feel you made a right choice, wrong choice, and you are not pleased with it. That gives the scope for incentive. So the third factor, called ancillary practices, to create a mood. In order to practice anything, you need a mood. Mood is created by ceremonies, rituals, and practices. Our life is highly ritualistic. Our language is a symbol and ritual. Our cultural patterns are made of rituals. Even when on the national day we hoist the flag, that is a ritual. Shaking hand is a ritual. Bowing down is a ritual. These are all rituals. But ritual is life. Symbol is life. What we call culture, manners, these are rituals. When you go to a restaurant, there is an environment. Dim light, rollicking music. The menu chart you cannot read clearly. Waitresses are moving like dream figures. It creates a mood. The food and others the mood. You go to a theater, there's a preparatory atmosphere. Go to a gambling, preparatory atmosphere. There also, this mood brings concentration. Once I was passing through one of the streets, I saw in one large room about some 100 people sitting. They're all reading something. I asked the person who was accompanying me, I said, they're highly concentrated. He said, this is an off-track betting house. I never saw. I could believe that. Who says people cannot concentrate? Holding something in front, 100 people, dead silence like statue. Think of that. When the thing is liking, you are concentrated. Now concentration is done like that. You invoke a mood. Similarly, a spiritual seeker, he changes dress, he lights an incense or a candle, he also brings music to create a mood. So therefore, the third step, including repeating a prayer, making a posture, these are all used to invoke a mood. These are the three factors, they remain constant. Next we come the success. Success comes if the three have been followed properly. Preparation, practice, perfection. Preparation is needed so that when the mind is roused, you can handle it. It is very harmful to teach a worldly person to meditate without preparing the person. When the mind is aroused and the grounding has not been done, it can destroy the person. Mind is like a giant. When it is roused, it is not easy to handle. Roused mind, either if you cannot let it go up, it will go down in an accelerating manner. Swami Vivekananda makes an observation in the Raja Yoga system, one line. Rising of the Kundalini a little bit is extremely dangerous. A little bit awakening, but unable to keep it remain awakened is extremely dangerous. From this it comes artificial way of rousing through secular practices of pranayama and others. They bring that danger. So you prepare beforehand. Second point of preparation is, the mind when going up, it has a tendency to come down. When it comes down, you do not let it come down fast or further. It is like a person falling down from a 30-story high riser. If he has platforms, maybe after 2 stories, he will be held there. If he falls down, he will be dashed to pieces. Although even though when he falls down, we do not believe it. A man when he falls. This is a man who was falling down from a 40-story high-rise. When he came down to passing through the window of the 10th-story, people there asked, "How are you doing?" He said, "So far, so good." So far, so good. This is our condition. So mind falls down. Preparation is, you create platform. If you cannot meditate, you will tell the beads. If you cannot do that, you will read a text. If you cannot do that, make pilgrimage, holy company. These are called secondary platforms. So therefore, to confront or to bear with or to, meet the upheaval of mind, you prepare yourself. Then comes practice. Practice is what you call, is not effective unless it is regular. It's a one day, if you skip over the practice, you go back 7 days. 1 day's default brings you back 7 days back. Each day you practice, it reinforces previous day's practice. Swami Vivekananda said, when you tell beads, rosaries, this chanting, when you do not do, complete it, it continues to vibrate in the system in a molecular way. It goes deep down, they're vibrating. Next time when you do, you are awakening those vibrations again and reinforcing them. Preparation is necessary because we are all not perfect. We begin from ignorance, half knowledge. We are weak. We are not extraordinary, most of us. We need to prepare. A political candidate was canvassing. Came to a neighborhood. One voter, he was irate, and he said, I would not vote for you, even if you were St. Peter. The candidate said, if I were St. Peter, you will not be in my district. The similar here, since we are neither St. Peter nor this, we need to prepare. So practice must be regular and continuous. Regularity of practice brings you strength. Then practice is not enough. You gain ground, but you must be established there. You may do heavy bombing, acquire a country, but that is not your acquirement. You need the cooperation of the people there to be established. Here, cooperation of your body, mind, desires you need. You cannot simply remain there, defend yourself by being just a Rambo. By that, the opposing contrary forces, they go underground or in the background. You live in fear. So therefore, instead of being in a militant way, you acquire the area, but in order to remain established, you need the cooperation of the surrounding forces. That part is called perfection. Repeating them and remaining there. Eventually, you need the cooperation of your mind and desires. So in 3 parts, therefore, they can be done. Obstacles. We come to the next point. What are the obstacles? First is physical obstacle. Body resists. Body does not like it that you go and meditate. You will find even the pain, ache, headache, sneezing, coughing, these are all resistance of the body. You may think, I got cold and I am coughing. Actually not. Body is resisting. The moment you stop meditation, coughing is gone. You'll find. Then practice makes it perfect. A patient came to the doctor and doctor said, well, it seems that you are coughing today easily. Person said, it should be because I have been practicing it all night. So similarly here, body's resistance comes. Aches and pains, and body is undergoing change. It's what you call muscles, nerves are aligning. It first resists. If he can stop you, if you overcome the body, then the obstacle comes mental. Lethargy, distractedness, dryness, lack of interest, doubt. Same obstacle, now you are meeting in the mind because you have driven them from the physical level. Now they are reappearing in the mental level. Upheaval of emotion. Third obstacle, occult phenomena. A little experience. You are seeing whether some aura around your face appearing, whether you have arrested the old age. A man asked a little boy, how old are you, my little man? The boy said, thank God, if I wish I knew it. When I was born, my mother was 26, but she is now only 24. This is also we are thinking that anything occult coming or not. Or answering prayer. I wish something, I am waiting. If it happens tomorrow, I think I have succeeded. A girl wanting to get married, not getting a suitable husband, alone meditating and praying on a summer day in the apartment. Window was open. While she was in dark meditating, an owl came and sat on the windowsill. The owl at one point said, "Who?" The girl said, "Anybody." She thought her prayer has been the prayer. This is called occult phenomena. Finally comes enjoyment of bliss, little ecstasy, little emotion. Same, mind is resisting, dissuading you from going further. Physical obstacle you overcome by physical practices. Mental by discrimination. Holy company. Intellectual in the form of doubt, that is also a resistance of the mind. Particularly by holy company. And enjoyment of bliss and spiritual ecstasies and emotions or experiences, stronger discrimination. No meditation is possible without discrimination. Discrimination guards the door from intrusion of foreign forces inside. It guards the rear. Concentration forges forward. The two fronts are balanced. Next point comes progress. How do you know that I am progressing? This is a practice. How do you know that you are nearer or far? How do you know that you are approaching? You are going too fast or too slow? Usually, when you think that you are progressing well, you are fine, you are really going downhill. That is called tradition says. When a person thinks that he is doing very well, that means his downhill has started. When a person says that I'm miserable, I'm not making a dent, nothing is happening, everything is dark, a good teacher thinks the person is safe. When you have critics around you, you are safe. You must know that. When everybody says you are fine, 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 you are very unsafe, because you are not getting a picture or image of what you are. You can be totally deluded, and you are thinking that you are making good progress. So therefore, this is the usual phenomena. It happens. When a person feels it is dark, dreary, I am extremely restless, it is obvious that person's calm part of the mind is dominant. Second, the person is not enjoying the dreariness, resisting it. We forget. We generally demean ourselves by emphasizing only the darker part. Unless you have a good part, calm part, concentrated part, you would not feel the dreary as dreary. So therefore, you are safe there. Mind is alert. No delusion can creep in. So the progress is difficult to measure. You are in company only with your mind. This time, no book, no temple, you are in the world of mind. And the fellow mind is such, you can hardly depend upon it. You do not know where it will ambush you. So therefore, first being said, if we consider spiritual experience, phenomena of experiences, but experiences can be simulated, can be the product of active imagination, can be false, can be imitated. So we cannot consider that as a mark of genuine, authentic mark of progress. Hearing, sound, sight, many people think. But that also, a weak person can see light. A weak person can also hear voices. Many crazy people, they also hear that God told him to do this. Should we call this the mark of progress? A demented, degenerate person can't do that. Then comes experiences of phenomena of experience, dream, vision. But a dream also can be a dream. And dream is a dream. Dream is not reality. If God is pleased with me and wants to talk to me, why He will have to talk to me in dream? He can talk to me when I am awake. Why He will come to that? So therefore, we should not take it as a dream. Rousseau said that, the political philosopher, that to say that I dreamt God talked with me is another way of telling I dreamt. God talked to me in dream is another way I dreamt God talked to me. We cannot call this an authentic mark. We must be very careful and uncompromising. Third is called occult phenomena, clairaudience, clairvoyances. But we know many people can have this occult power. Not necessarily it has to do with spiritual. They do business. They open a circus company, make money, business. In many cases, they have some amount of occult power. They can hypnotize a little. Each time they use, they become defunct. These are not unreal, but nothing to do with spiritual knowledge. A person can have some amount of occult power, bereft of totally any spiritual enlightenment. And that power will finish the person soon. History is replete with instances. When the power came means it is the beginning of the end. Objective progress, there are marks. You read Svetashvatara Upanishad, Sankhya doctrines, that first sign would be good health of progress and success, good voice, good odor, light excretion. But these also can be achieved by other means. We cannot say that these are, practices of results of meditation. How to know that due to good diet or good meditation it happened? Finally comes the acid test is transformation. All the others may be considered, but real test is transformation of character. A tree is to be known by its fruit. The proof of a pudding is in eating. Total transformation and permanent transformation, that is the real test. A person may not have any vision, any ecstasy, but he is transformed into gold. When this transformation has come, which is negative, then the person has achieved something. So at first, with a distaste for what the world can give us, then comes the taste of bliss, which brings transformation, which is the cause of ecstasy, samadhi, absorption. Absorption leads to knowledge. Absorption means being the self. You become totally absorbed. So by analyzing and discriminating, it is being said transformation is the most acid test of accomplishment. It is said by touching this self, even in a distant way, you undergo transformation. Each day you meditate, chant the name of God, you undergo transformation. And those memories of transformation, they combine. In fact, by continuity of practice, you are combining them into one mass of memory. Then, in the second stage, you do not make any effort. You do not anymore meditate. Meditation meditates on you. That is the last phase, before the final revelation. Meditation follows you. You no longer follow meditation. It pursues you wherever you go, in wakeful, dream, deep sleep. When a person gets old, body becomes weak, nerves become shattered, body begins to disintegrate. What he will do? He has already done. That time he does not make any effort. The Upanishads describe this as a rapt up Brahman. Sitting on this rapt up Brahman, made of the memories of his contact with the self in various depths and degrees, a mortal man attains immortality. overcomes old age, comes to the end of sorrow, and crosses this world of change and delusion. That's the assurance of the Upanishads. Thank you. Om Jananing Sharadang Deving Ramakrishnan Jagadgurung Padapadmitayo Sritta Pranamami Muhurmuhur. We bow down to Mother Sarada, the great Master Sri Ramakrishna. We take refuge at their feet and bow down to them over and over again. Om, peace, peace be unto us and to all living beings.